costs a lot.
That's a great point. So if perhaps, talking hypotheticals here, perhaps you're not needing to take a credit card on a regular basis, instead of having to pay for hardware up front, you can input that information. Then again, if maybe you're in a situation where you're taking credit cards all the time and you want to be able to print a receipt, look more professional in that manner, obviously you can look at the hardware investment as well. And I see, so air charge hardware, I assume that's the mini blue, probably varies on printing capabilities, etc. You know, $200 to $400 there.
One other advantage I would say is if you do take the main, or you should say the swiping card, better rate on your transaction.
Swiping versus input. Yeah, now she brings up a good point. I don't know the answer to this, but inputting that information is actually not manually where you're typing it in. Probably isn't that much different than swiping it versus calling in. So I think what you're talking about more is calling in authorization versus actually swiping, because calling in is expensive.
Yeah, there's typically an upcharge for a key country or because of fraud issues. So credit card processors and if it's swipe, you know it's more secure.
So hopefully this helped you get a more of a general overview of the capability. You know, everybody's different in terms of what their needs may be, and this is where the value can really come into dealing with a direct sales rep at the wireless carrier that you may be exploring. They've got the experience, they know the solutions, they've dealt with other customers, and you know, they're called a consultant for a reason. They're there to help narrow down what the best fit is for you. And I do recommend, too, in terms of when you're dealing with these folks, if they come in and well, I don't know if I should go down this road, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you're dealing with a sales rep and they come in and they do a product vomit on you, this is all I know. You might want to be a little wary. If a sales rep is worth their salt, when they come in and deal with you, they should learn about your business. They should be asking you questions before they start presenting you on any solutions. They need to find out what makes you tick, what's important to you, what your needs are. Then they should look at what they have to offer. They should see if there's a fit, and then they should prove it. And in many cases, when I say prove it, I mean financially. They better put some numbers behind it. So that'll help you, I think, as you're dealing with sales reps. You know, it's about you. It's about what they have, it's making it fit, and it's them proving it. So, yes, sir?
Is AirCharge a processor or it's just a payment?
AirCharge offers a processing solution, and they're also a merchant. So they offer a turnkey solution for you if that's what you're looking for. And I'm sure Charge Anywhere at Verizon probably does the same thing. So every carrier probably has their solution for credit card payments. And again, they can be a turnkey solution for you, or you can use your merchant and their solution. Did I explain that well? Any other questions on credit card? Because if you do, I'm going to be making stuff up after this. Can we go to the, I think we're done with this one, if I'm not mistaken. We're really professional here. Fade them in. So, I want to talk to you about another solution, and Motorola has actually gone to Google Apps. I no longer have Outlook for my email. But the real reason, more than anything, even though a large company like Motorola is using this, there are a lot of small entities going Google Apps, and the reason is cost savings. In fact, probably one of the biggest growths in terms of customers in Google Apps seems to be in public sector, local and county governments. And one of the reasons they're going Google Apps, cost savings. They're hurting. Tax revenues are down, and they're looking at ways of cutting costs and getting rid of servers and I hate to say it, IT personnel, etc. Is saving them a tremendous amount of money. And what they're looking at is, and going to, is Google Apps. So I thought it was a worthwhile thing to mention Google Apps to you today, what it can do, and it may be an email solution for you. So businesses are obviously challenged a lot today, information overload, being able to do collaboration, and then obviously the ability to have extensibility, to be able to reach out not only with email but other solutions on mobile devices. And as we talked about earlier, productivity is the reason behind that. So obviously some people, as we talked about earlier, you get tons of email. There are those challenges. And then more than anything, especially for small to medium-sized businesses, there's a lot of technology challenges, and that challenge goes beyond just having email servers, client access licenses. If they're in a mobile environment, enterprise servers to be able to redirect email, being able to touch back-end servers. So there's a lot of things out there from a technology standpoint that requires personnel and time, etc. So one of the tools that you might want to put in your back pocket in terms of extensibility down the road, or if you're looking to perhaps save some money now, would be Google Apps. And Google Apps offers a lot of different solutions. So everybody's pretty much familiar with Gmail, and Gmail pretty much offers most of these solutions. Google Apps is simply that same Gmail solution for the enterprise. While it is cloud-based, meaning my email, as an example for me personally, because I use Google Apps, is in the cloud, that doesn't necessarily mean I can't back it up on my laptop. So there is a solution where all your information can be backed up on your PC or laptop. So even though everybody refers to it as cloud computing, just keep in mind, if you want to keep your information on your laptop, it can be there as well. And that means when you step on a plane and you have no connectivity, all your stuff will be there based on the last time you updated it. Here's why everybody goes or is looking at Google Apps. Enterprise email, 25 gig mailbox for $50 per user. So the benefits, best tools for the business. I think the big thing here, lowering costs, and it's pretty reliable and secure. Not dealing with an internet service provider, not dealing with having to have the right particular phone to use with the solution that's being offered by that internet service provider. I got 5 minutes, so I'll go quickly. Let's get to the meat of this. So a lot of releases. I can tell you Google Apps keeps getting better and better. Here's the big thing. This is based on some information that came out from Microsoft on what you're looking at in terms of cost if you're using an Exchange solution. If that server is on-premise, average cost $610. The Business Productivity Online server, $290. Google Apps, $60. $50 per user per year, $10 over the course of a year on average for most customers in terms of having to manage that solution. Anybody using Gmail now? It's the same thing. So, more reliable and secure. As you can see, there's really little downtime during the course of the month using the Google solution versus using perhaps an internet service provider that may be using Exchange or GroupWise, or if perhaps you're using BlackBerry and you're using a Bez. This is also a beautiful slide too. So in terms of configuration and getting set up, Google Apps versus some other solutions here. Configuration steps. 1, firewall and security, especially with some of the newer devices, are built in. No more servers, no more email servers, and perhaps no more IT resources. In fact, many of the folks in these smaller governments are getting rid of some of their IT folks, and then some of them are really being more redirected redirected into communications and taking care of the wireless component, because now, with what they have in terms of cost savings, they're actually offering extensibility to some of the folks that they wouldn't have previously. So those folks in the field that may have just had a cell phone, now they give them a cell phone with email capability, so their productivity increases. They've got calendar, email, etc. And they're using a device that is email capable with Google Apps.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
does the interface for the enterprise email look the same
As Gmail,
as Gmail? I mean, I just have a personal version to the user.
it looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. So I don't think there's very few differences in terms of settings, etc. I don't think you can do a whole lot more in terms of capability. I use both Gmail personally, and then my Motorola.com email is Google Apps. And we've been Google Apps for over about a year. Yeah, close to a year now.
Is the conversion pretty easy in terms of like you wanted to put everything in Google Apps?
Great question. So I can only speak to you as a customer of an IT department, and it's not that bad. But you got to remember how many employees we have at Motorola. 60,000 plus. So I mean, they actually migrated us over in waves, and it went rather smooth. The big thing was moving over PST files, which you can do. But once there's probably more than anything, I'd say that it's a learning curve going to Google Apps, because you don't have folders. They're labels now. In fact, just as an example, I don't even keep stuff in folders like I used to in Exchange. I just let everything, I either delete it or it's archived in, because the search function on Google Apps is so good that it's so easy to sort.
Laura and I specifically work with government, nonprofit education, so you're exactly hitting home where the resources definitely are dwindling, and so Google Apps is definitely a way to, I wouldn't say reduce headcount, because that's definitely not what we're seeing. These government entities do especially, is just that they're allowing these IT people to be more creative and project management, to really think much further outside the box, because they already have the resources allocated, they already have the headcount, all of that is covered, but now they get to take them away from these mundane type tasks that are not necessarily very advanced, and allow them to do what they really do best, which is really be creative.
Great feedback. And that's good news, because I've seen where some IT departments are actually headcount reductions, especially the smaller ones. In a nutshell, I mean, you can go to Google and Google Apps and have an idea that this list is huge, but this is just an example of some of the companies that have gone that way, which is kind of funny. You look at these large companies, if anybody can take a benefit from going this solution, I really think it's the small to medium-sized businesses that can really take an advantage. I thought you had another comment. All right, just real quick, because this is the meat of it. Gmail, 25 gig mailbox. That's huge. Google Talk, instant messaging. It's a great solution that I use with people personally and professionally. So, kind of funny, how many people in here use email? Just about everybody. How many use instant messaging? Most. Why would you use instant messaging over email? It's quicker. Yeah, same thing with push to talk. Why would you use cellular push to talk? It's quicker. Groups, we don't really use those that much, but you do have group capability, which is easy to do. You don't have to rely on IT. You can set it up yourself. Calendar takes some getting used to, by the way, if you're switching over from Exchange, but it's not bad. Google Docs, just like Gmail. If you're interested in Google Apps, I suggest you try Gmail. You can upload documents and send them to people, have reference material. It's secure, and it's a great way to store information, not directly on your phone, but in the cloud. So if you lose your phone, for example, it can be turned off, nobody can get into it. So some security behind using Google Docs. The ability to hit sites for projects, etc. Video capability through chat. I'm being told to leave. All right. That was good.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Sure.
If you have really big PowerPoints, is that a problem when they're not on your office?
When they're not? No. In fact, what what's so nice about it versus what I would have to do previously to get my email at Motorola is being able to